And at the bottom right in the blue, playing Vanguard, it's Mixu. And bottom left in the Celestials, in the red trunks, he's the Celestial player. It's Bly, the man I tried to get multiple people playing. Everyone said, hell no, I don't want to play Bly. Are you kidding? That's horrible. That's not fun. He's going to 4-0 me, and it's going to look silly while happening. And then I said, hey, Mixu, do you want to show me what you're made of? He said, absolutely, we'll play. So we'll see what's happening. So we see Alien Anarchy saying crazy win rates. There are more Celestials at the top of the ladder than the other two races. And this is true. Now, I wish Untapped would sort by timing. And Mixu, oh, okay, this is legal, by the way. Especially in these, these smaller events, oh, man, a Lost Hope is fine. But Lost Hope, if you drag scroll over the trees in particular, that it gets a little laggy, which is really annoying. But it's Lost Hope only that makes this happen. But anyway, Mixu dragging these, so this is totally legal. When we talk about, so if I'm going to run a Stormgate Nexus, I'm going to be a little bit more strict on the rule set because you want, it's a $2,000 tournament, $2,500 tournament. You want things to be as fair as possible. But on these events, I'm like, look, we're going to explore things. This is a mechanic that might be too strong, might be too weak. I don't know, but Mixu has just dragged a couple Shadow Mastiffs from the speed camp that is Bly's onto the other side of the map. Got himself just a little bit more money in the early game. Pulls the dash out once again, and we might see him try to go in again and pull his speed camp back onto his side of the map. As what is this Prism doing? Bly just scouting with his first Prism? Interesting. Very, very interesting here. So the Prism's just scouting around, and then Bly, well, Mixu is on one base for the time being, going hedgehogs here very, very quickly in this game. So he just continues to micro around, kills many of these Shadow Mastiffs as possible. And yeah, with the Lancers and the Scout nerfs, I mean, certainly we're in the situation where the units don't... Vanguard creeping is not as good as it would like to be. But for now, a lot of these Shadow Mastiffs pulled back into the main base. They pulled back into the Hedgehogs and the Lancers. And at this point, the Shadow Mastiffs will get taken. But look at this. Bly taking Mixu's fourth. This game is already... There's a lot of intricacy, a lot of little wrinkles into this game that we are not used to seeing all that often. And now the Prism's going to see the main base. Okay. I know where everything is now. I know what's up. He's going to see, okay, so the Bobs are now going to go take the natural. And something we've learned, by the way, recently is, well, a veteran Bob plus the second Bob is as fast as like 4 Bobs. So Mixu getting this machine lab early on, getting this high veterancy Bob, you build things 60%. Oh, it's I think it's additive. So you build things 60% faster from this single Bob. It actually is it's a massive difference. You can go and build overall. You build a sentry post. One veteran Bob builds it in 30 seconds instead of 45 seconds. So it's maybe it's not 60. It's 60 times. It's not. I'm actually not sure if it's additive or not. But regardless, you build things a lot faster. So machine lab is done. We have what is that called? Transonic rockets. I wanted to say a long shot, but no, that's the celestial upgrade. But transonic array, which means these hedgehogs, they have just that much more range, and they're going to start to poke around just a little bit as this Prism is being very annoying, stealing just a little bit of money, full scouting everything, and it's going to see that, okay, there's a scrapyard. There's going to be that much more therium mining coming out, which tells us, okay, this is going to be very mech heavy. This is going to be very tech heavy coming out of Mixu. He's going to go delay quite significantly, in fact, delaying his natural, which I think is kind of fascinating because as we take a look at this, we're going to high command on one base. Wild. Man, I'm watching this from Mixu. This is pretty fun. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that high command gives us that Mixu wants to rush for. It's not a top bar ability. There's nothing in the Vanguard arsenal that really benefits from having high command. Not really. He's building another barracks here. He built one, but of course he sold it. What is this high command for? I'm actually not sure. I'm very excited to find out. But again, we are very quick double scrapyard. More bear. Oh, wait. Is it for... No, System Shock is tier 3. System Shock is tier 2 now, so that's not what it is. Trying to think of tier 3 upgrades. It might be for Atlases. It might be for upgraded Atlases and the plasma on the ground, which, you know, could be pretty good against a bunch of Argents if you can get to it. Is this one base hell? That might be true, Rusty Shacky. This might be one base helicarrier. But the Argents are here now, and there's a rush into tier 3. High command is done. Now we don't actually, it's not going to be helicarrier because we have no hangar base at all. It's just double racks. Exos are... Oh, no, it's a Graven Rush. Oh, it's a Graven Rush. This is super cool, but doesn't matter. This is just not a lot of... this is a problem. This is a significant problem right now. Graven are on the way, of course. They don't have upgrades, but Graven are on the way, and this is just so many Argents. Bobs are not overcharged. By the way, to be clear, Mixu has... He's been mass promoting instead, which means there's no overcharge available, which means that these Argents are going to kill a lot of these Bobs. Mixu... Now, eventually, he's going to have Graven. Eventually he will, and that's going to be a lot of splash damage if he can get to it, but that's a lot of Bobs going down. Certainly no Therium anymore, but one Graven's out. One Graven is out. Hedgehog's poking away. Blinks out with these Graven here. This Graven rush is super interesting, but I worry that Bly may have just caught him in transition a little bit too much. I don't know. Now these Hedgehogs, they gotta be so careful. Now they gotta just run away, but they're keeping everything back. No more Bobs in production at the time being. Mixu again, he's very poor right now. But more Graven are starting to show up on the field. Where are they on the map? Okay, there we go. They're here, and sticky bombs are gonna go down. Graven, again, you really do not want to lose them. You really do not want to lose them. The slow and the damage is very strong. Pewing away, but more Argents are here, and well, here's the problem, right? This is the big problem. There are 27,000 Argents and just 4 Graven. So this Graven Rush was a cool idea, but Mixu is so dead in the game that it just does not matter. Bly wins game 1. And to the bottom left here in the second game of our second best of 7, well, he's down the map in this series. His one base Graven play didn't quite work. It's Mixu, upper right taken. The double Luminite very quickly into this series. Of course, his name is Bly, and you do this, by the way. You go make sure you take this aggressive collection array, because that means you can go overcharge Sovereign's Watch this arc ship and go and try to take down these take down the Shadow Mastiffs as quickly as possible. Now Mixu's just gonna try to drag it away. I love this. Now you have to be careful. The scout falls down. He tries to go and steal this from his opponent to make sure the Sovereign's Watch overcharge, a little cash injection early on, doesn't do exactly what you're looking for. But with the aggro going back and forth, Mixu not able to drag the Shadow Masters back onto his side of the map, which means that at the end of the day, the idea was there. Unfortunately, the application was not. But game 1, we saw one base Mask Raven attempted. Didn't really work out. Game 2, command post. Going down, I just realized we need to add the sponsor browser to this overlay. I'll put it off to the side. Hopefully that's not too obnoxious. But where does again, my question as we take a look at things is, where does Mixu go in this game number 2? Now, of course, Vanguard economy got a massive buff. They build workers 3 seconds faster. Instead of 20 seconds like it was previously, it's now 17. Bly using this speedy prism to run across the map and just scout out everything. Meanwhile, it seems like he's getting ready to go and take a 4th base. So yeah, very quick 4 collection array. And the way this works is if you're trying to get aggressive, right? If you're trying to build units, you build prisms early on. That's what you do. Because prisms, you get a more linear economy increase, right? You go and you build one, and you get a little bit more money and a little bit more money. And it allows you to go and get production out while you're actually building your economy. If you were saying, I'm just going to go as greedy as possible, which is exactly what Bly is doing in this game, quick 4 collection array. You get collection arrays because, yes, it takes a little longer. It's a little bit more expensive to get it to spawn out. But this is a collection array by itself is half a base of mining. Maybe even a little bit more than that. And yes, you do need prisms, but you burst your economy that much faster. So for now, another scout pops out from Mixu. Wants to go see what his opponent is up to. And well, he's going to see that there are collection array or creation chambers on the way. He's got these power banks, of course, that do take some damage, but it's a single scout that doesn't really matter. But he's going to say, okay, well, creation chambers, triple base. He's going to scout into the natural and say, okay, 4 collection chamber. Great. Okay. I know what I'm up to. I know what I'm up against in this setup is now. It's going to be Quick Lancer, I think. Quick Kinetic Redirect is going to be the name of the game from Bly. You know, actually, I'm saying that because I see there are Lancers on the field, but that is actually a significant lie. No, it's going to be Quick Draw Hustle. Coming out of Mixu in this game number 2, trying to poke away at all these Argents. You'll make sure that you can kite away, get damage done. Bonus damage to heavy is always going to be very, very nice. Yeah, so let's see exactly how this goes. Saying Mixu's already 50% eco. It's not quite that bad, again, because each of these collection arrays is like 50-60% of a base. It's not 100% of a base. So this is not this is not technically 4 bases to 2. This is like 3 bases to 2 with a little bit easier opportunity to go up to 4 bases to 2. It's kind of how we can think about that for now. So again, the economy, I'm not saying the economy for the Celestial player is bad. I'm not at all, but it's not quite as, oh, well, Bly has 4 bases, Mixu has 2. We are 4 minutes into this game. Good luck. Not quite that. It's not quite that dire. For now, though, Quick Draw Hustle is not on the way just yet. Okay. I keep expecting it to get started, but okay. Well, I guess Exos without Quick Draw Hustle is going to be the order of the day. Is it's going to be Hornets popping out, which have been nerfed pretty heavily. Let's be clear about this. The Hornet was nerfed pretty heavily. It was doing double damage to light units in the sky. Now it just does +4, I think. So it does 18 damage to flying light unit, or 18 damage to light units, 14 damage to regular units. And again, I'm a little surprised to not see Quick Draw Hustle here, but getting these Exos, by the way, these are heavy units. Exos do bonus damage to them, and there's a range that you can find on every single unit, where on every single creep camp, where it'll just do this, where it just kites away. So keeping this Exo on hold position, kiting away, use 3 Exos will eventually knock this down. And look at this creation chamber. Somehow a Morph Core found its way onto the bottom side of the map, and Mixu has no idea that this exists. So now Quick Draw Hustle's on the way, of course. We're going to see eventually this resource camp go down, and eventually Mixu's going to be able to go and take that. He's actually not even bothering. And there we go. Okay. So this is Prime Creation Chamber. Kree on the way. Do we have rollout? Not done just yet, but it's on the way soon. And here comes the big attack. Kree are going to come in from the backside of these. Oh, God, these are Exos. Oh, no, these Exos. They're going to find their way into a rock and a hard place. Hornet number 1, I believe, is out. It's on the map, but now, yeah, it's just going to have to get sold here. And this is a problem. This all-in coming out of Bly is so strong. Is so freaking strong. Bob Overcharge has to do what it can. It's only double barracks at the moment. So we're going to see, yes, some of these Kree will fall down. But the story here, realistically, is there has to be some way, and even with the overcharge, these Bobs are getting pretty low. There has to be some way to fight back. There has to be some way to make sure that you get on top of this Prime Creation Chamber, or this Prime Creation Chamber, go to town. So for now, there's going to be the Exo turn. This flat cannon is here, is again, eventually this overcharge is going to lapse out. Even still, there has to be some maps from here. They're here. The Kree are starting to knock everything down. The Sentry Post doing what they can. Exo's doing more. But Bly is, again, he's on 4 bases. He has, well, really on 3 bases. But there needs to be another overcharge, and it's just not there yet. We're on high command once again. I think the idea is Graven transition on 2 bases this time. But the economic damage is just too strong. It is way too strong. Yeah, Graven are going to get made. And no, here's the other story about this. If there can be a hold, if there is some way for Mixu to hold on to this, if he can keep some of his economy alive and can get these Graven out, this entire Argent army is trapped in the main base. The problem is there's no escape. There is truly no way out here. These mass Graven ideas that Mixu's going for, he's just not allowed to survive into them in time. And this fight would have been doable if he was aware of this creation chamber in the corner. But Lost Hope is so strong. It is so good. It is so freaking good. So now we're going to see some of the bombs go down. Of course, Graven, ambush post. I forgot what the ambush post does, but Mixu's dead again. This attack is just way, way too strong. Mixu just is never quite ready for it, and that means Bly's up too. So now here we are, game number 3, and there's nothing. You cannot use the scout to pull things away. It's just going to be a scout out for now. And again, economy. I'm surprised, by the way, we're not seeing Bly scout out with this big scouty speedy prism once again. We'll see what happens. I love, oh god, I love Vanguard though. So this is a build you can only do on this map. You might be able to do it on Titan's Causeway as well. Might be able to do it on Titan's Causeway as well, where you overcharge the bobs very early and you go command post first and you clear the health camp. So you go and your bobs get healed right back up, and you can't quite do that as the scout looks for the snipe. Ah, maybe got it, I'm not sure, but ooh, stays alive. Okay. But anyway, you can go overcharge the bobs and go command post first, and you might be able to do it on Titans. Again, your bobs won't get healed up, but it's still probably close enough to where you want to expand, where the overcharge allows you to get the base up and kill things. So maybe, I'm not sure. For now though, Scout's gonna go see exactly what this morph core is up to, and it's gonna be that third base on the way from Mixu, or from Bly, pretty dang quickly into this game. Is now finally, with the third base going up, the scouting prism's on the way. Wait, Miss Crimson, I'm okay with you saying I don't like the game. I'm okay with whatever, but saying the directors are paying each other $150,000 a month is so wildly incorrect that it must be addressed. The Tims, right, per public SEC filings, each of them are making $250,000 a year, which is roughly 5% of the operating budget of Frost Giant, which, you know, some people say maybe is a little bit too much, but, you know, cutting that by a little bit is not really not going to make that much of a difference. I wish I could make $150,000 a month. That'd be awesome. But my goodness there. I mean, if you want to, again, if you want to complain, more than welcome. You're more than welcome to go and again, it's pretty reasonable for California as well. You're more than welcome to say, hey, the balance isn't great. You know, I don't like the visual, whatever. Sure, fine. But just spreading, it's not even blatant. It's so erroneous that it's not even blatant misinformation at this point. It's just so wrong. It's like, how? Anyway, people saying I shouldn't be given the screen. It's funny. I heard they paid me $1 billion. By the way, 2-base Hedgehog is going to be the name of the game for Mixu as we move into the third game of this series. And because of the base setup, this can't be a quick 4-base. This just, Bly can't go for that one. So the Argents are here. We're going to have, eventually, I would assume, Kree behind this. Where is our, any upgrades straight? Yeah, there we go. There's the Guardian Nexus. And it's all about, can Mixu survive this big thing? Can Mixu survive this big timing that has been the problem in the last couple games? It's a lot of Argents. They're all Surge, just so much stuff on the map, and that is the problem with this matchup right now. You just have to be able to go. Argents are tanky. They can just poke away. Get it. There we go. Okay, so an Argent will fall, but you need a bunch of anti-heavy damage right now, and sure, you can get to Exos, but that's not the easiest thing. Ooh, Machine Lab right on the scrapyard. So this is going to be Transonic Array, of course. This is going to go and make sure these Hedgehogs have that, or Transonic Rockets, right? +2 range on the ground, +3 anti-air. And Rextor, you do have that sword for a reason. You're welcome to use it as you would like. I trust your moderation capabilities. But anyways, so for now, Mixu just going and expanding everywhere or not even expanding everywhere, just building all this stuff on top of this Therium resource camp, because he does need a ton of Therium to make this happen. More Hedgehogs on the way, Transonic Rockets again to get started, and no quick tier 3 for the moment. This is just going to be mass Hedgehogs playing around. I'm very curious to see how, because Mixu has been going for this quick high command quite a bit. But for right now, he's only on 2 bases. Of course, this is not 4 bases for Bly at this point, but he does have a lot of Argents on the other side of the map, and there's not a lot of static defense here because, well, the Hedgehogs, they're on the other side No sentry posts here whatsoever. So these Argents are a problem. These Argents are a significant problem. Getting on top of the machine lab, Bobs have to get pulled, but there's no overcharge available, and the Hedgehog just gets evaporated here. You do have to kite away, and again, without overcharge, the Bobs don't do a lot. So losing that one Hedgehog doesn't feel all that great. But if you kite away, again, if you can kite away here with transonic rockets available, that is gonna be something. The problem is, this is good if you can kite on the other side of the map. If you can fight onto the other side of the map, you can kite them across the entire map. Play like Blink Stalker versus a bio push or something, versus like a 3-1-1 in StarCraft 2. That can be pretty good. And like, this is exactly what Mixu has to do right now. Play around with the range. Play around with the fact that Argents never are really allowed to fight. Play around with recharging your shots, and just make it really hard. Just wear away at this army of Bly over and over and over again, and never really allow them to go in and properly take that fight. But now you're in vision, and that's not as nice. And of course, having the scout here is super useful because it means you have a little bit more vision. So Bly, what he wants to do is he wants to push his opponent into a corner. He wants to go and force him to take a straight up fight, which is not something that Bly wants to do whatsoever. So the Bobs again pulled off the Therian position. And the Hedgehogs have to be careful. They have to be so very careful because the Argents will kill them. Argents will absolutely kill them. Hedgehog count's starting to get a little bit higher. Bob's pulled a little bit further forward here. And now there's going to be the Purified. Tier 2 available. Mixu, though, kites backwards, and the Argents are starting to fall down. The supply is getting a lot more equal. And remember, you build every 17 seconds. The Bobs losing them doesn't feel very good at all. But there's still plenty on these Therium camps. We have transonic rockets. We're building more Hedgehogs. So we have tier 3 on the way. Yes, high command is in fact done. So Graven can start to get added into this. Let's see. Graven's starting to get added into this game right now. And this is kind of like, ooh, got to be careful there. That Hedgehog's not where you want it to be. This is starting to be a little bit like Spooky Mech, right? You get the Gravens, you get the Hedgehogs, and you start to you slow everything down with the sticky bombs. You go and you get damage done. So Mixu is not supply block, which means these Graven should be on the map fairly soon. I don't see them right now. It might have died. But we're gonna have to see exactly. So okay, sentry post on the high ground, repair turret here, and I would love to see a repair turret on the low ground. That would be really, really useful. But for right now, this is what Mixu doesn't want, right? Just being forced into a corner like this. Rampart's here to make sure that this, you know, the habitat stays alive just a little bit longer. Where is our Graven? Is it just getting targeted? Oh, there it is. It's hiding in a corner here. And again, it's all about these sticky bombs. If you can go and get these sticky bombs worth. By the way, that's where the Graven went, onto the other side, looking to infiltrate the bases here, really start to put the hamper on the economy. This is super. If this works out, this is what Mixu's been going for the last couple games of this series. And I think it's going to work out here. Infiltrate on the, not even infiltrate, doesn't even need it. It's going to knock all the prisms down. And again, you can blink out from this. You're going to be okay. So Mixu has all of a sudden supply lead massively in his favor. Graven's on the other side, blink, cloak away. And this economy. Now, infiltrate, I don't know. I'm not actually sure whether infiltrate require, I can't remember how they changed the Graven. But they did, okay, you know. Shutting down top bear ability is very nice as well if you can make that happen. Now, Bly knows where these are, by the way. They show, but they're cloaked. So without any detection, they're just going to get out scot-free. And behind this, let's take a look at our tech from Bly at this point. Where is his... Wait, did they kill the Arc ship? No, okay, there it is. Arc Station is here, so no Arc Fortress, certainly not. But now the Hedgehogs are here, and that means that, yes, there is a Sovereign's Watch, but this is just going to be a dead collection array. And this is Mixu surviving finally. Knocks down, infiltrates the main base as well. And I believe Bly, I believe that was an infiltration, so top bar and not available either. Two bases go down in the blink of an eye, and now Bly is in rough timings, rough positionings here. Mixu survived as long as he needed to. He got himself up to Graven. He has these Hedgehogs that do a bunch of damage to heavy at this point. Bly went for this one base all, or this tier 1 all in. It just really has not worked. We do have photo capacitors now, so it's 50 armor, or it's 50 energy instead of 30. That's actually, I forget how many. That's 5 shots, I think, before they run out of energy. That is a lot more damage that you can find, but Hedgehogs, they can just kite away. Now, these Graven are not happy. They're dead. And that is pretty expensive. That is very expensive here. Losing these Graven, it matters quite a bit. Hello there, parting. Never mind. I think we're super dead. Actually, we're not super dead. Man, look at these. Oh, God. Blast nodes. The sticky bomb. Not blast nodes. The sticky bombs. Slow everything down. Get a lot of damage done on top of this army. Now, again, the quick stick bomb is... It takes a reasonable amount of HP. Or it takes a reasonable amount of energy. So you got to be careful. But... we're going to see just damage being done here. Quick stick bomb goes down, and now Bly has no power available as well. So we talk about top power abilities. Well, there are two ways you can knock that down. You can go and knock it down because you're slow, because there's no power, and you can knock it down because everything is infiltrated. Bly is so dead in this game, and we, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys, gals, non-binary pals, we have a series. Bly will not 4-0 this. Mixu takes a map. In the upper right, in the red down a map in this series, it finally worked out. It's Mixu. And the bottom left in the blue. His Argent timings have been working pretty consistently, though. It's a lot of pressure he can put on the map early on with these quick expand, triple quad collection array ideas. Very, very strong. Trying to go and get the leash onto the other side, but now with Sovereign's Watch, say bye. Everyone in chat, wave bye-bye to the scout. It's going to go down. Very, very sad there, but you know, it's worth a try if you can leash them onto your side of the map, and that's just energy being wasted. That is slowing Bly's economy down just a little bit. And Hacker Brett Triple X, thank you so much there for the Prime Gaming sub as well. So glad you're here. And K-Mulp S there we go. Thanks so much for the Prime Gaming sub as well. I really appreciate it. Happy September. Happy Stormgate Sunday. We've already, of course, had one series that was pretty sick. It was Elf versus Party. It went to 5 games. Games were actually really good. Big fan. Particularly games, was it games 3 and 4? They went to the late game. They were very cool. Elf actually should have won the Broken Crown game, but unfortunately didn't build Weavers and built Spriggans instead, and couldn't quite break the Saber line. So for now, we just see the creeping, right? Mixu just trying to separate out the Shadow Mastiffs out just a little bit, because, well, Lancers are no longer nearly as good at creeping as they used to be. Vanguard creeping probably took a little bit too hard of a nerf from everything, from making the creep camps a little harder to take, and again, removing kinetic or -2 damage per damage per shot from the Lancer. So Lancers are not quite as tanky against a lot of things, and creep camps are a little harder to take. So, you know, Vanguard creeping was probably hindered a little bit too much. There's a nice shot there. Kills off the last of the 2 Mastiffs. But, you know, as it stands, it's still going to be okay. These units will have to run. And, well, actually, wait a minute here. This is a little bit dicey with the speed camp, and the health camp as well. Maybe one of these Lancers, or maybe one of these Argents. Nah, they're not going to die. Who are we kidding here? Real Speedy Bozar saying spoiler alert next time. I'm sorry. I generally feel like it's fair to talk about the event that you're running, about what happened in the event that you're running, but spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Scouts are certainly worse at creeping, but also Lancers are worse at creeping. As this build, we saw Mana do this in the last patch as well. This is a macro build, by the way. 3rd collection array here, but you just put strike nodes. You just put maybe, what's he doing? Yes, strike nodes on the low ground, and life becomes very, very difficult. So Sentry Post has to go down in range of everything, and Vision on the high ground as well. This is a very hard thing. This is a very, very difficult thing for Mixu to go handle. So he's got 1 Exo on the field. Of course, flat cannon. I can mouse over this. 22 damage to air, 22 damage to ground. It does do splash damage a little bit, but Argents are 180 HP. It lasts a little bit, but importantly, the flat cannon has range to the strike node. It's not going to be a strike node. This is going to get deflected. Mixu's aware of things. He knows what the answer is, and now there's going to be a second Sentry Post. So no, nothing on the edge of the range here to be annoying. Mixu survives this early aggression. Scorp 87, yes. So that's a visual bug right now for whatever reason. Whenever time you show a collection array, it looks like it's just done. That's just how it works. It's a known bug, you know. We are on 0.1.0 in this game. I mean, at a certain point, there will be bugs. Frost Giant's doing what they can. I assume we're going to have a bug fix eventually. Oh, this is cheeky. So he's just stealing money. He is just stealing money from Mixu at this point. Not a ton, obviously, but this is just, it's causing pain. It's causing annoyance, and that's never where you want to be. So we're seeing more power banks go down, and Mixu's not allowed to be happy right now. He just, oh god, up, repair turret. It's dead immediately. Bonus damage versus heavy. I really think we should remove every tag. I can't show you. I think we should remove every armor tag from structures. It means that, so for example, static defense is heavy, which means that some units evaporate it and some units don't do any damage to it whatsoever because of how bonus damage is such a key component. It's such an important percentage of damage in this game. So I really do think that we should remove all tags. It was an interesting experiment, but I don't think structures should have tags. I really don't. Look at this Bly getting onto 4 bases here. It's a collection or a 3 prism, so this is effectively a full base. And now Link Nose going down. I mean, we're seeing exactly why he has chosen this map to be his map pick. I mean, just God. Mixu defended the first attack, the first thing pretty well. He defended it adroitly, and now there's just more shenanigans coming out. What could Mixu have done better here? Mosaic Gamer says. I legitimately don't know. There's a Hornet getting made, and that can at least knock some of the prisms down, I guess. By the way, photo restoration here as well. So these Argents are that much tankier on top of everything. Power banks healing back up the arc station so it can go and heal back up all these Argents. And this push looks unstoppable. I mean, the supplies are relatively close, but this push just looks unstoppable. I think he's going to try to get an Atlas back behind things, and there's a Hornet going on to the other side, but there are no prisms. So the Hornet, the big damage you want to get is just not really there. So I think we're going to see eventually, I would assume we're going to get an Atlas from this push. I maybe want to see Mixu go and kind of expand in this position. But this Hornet is just kind of useless. It's not doing all that much. Nah, I think Isma is back. Sure, bonus damage allows for plays and counter plays at higher tiers. I think that's a fair statement. But I think at tier 1, I think the core unit should not have this big interaction between bonus damage, not bonus damage. Scout vision, okay, that sentry boost is just gonna fall down. Mixu's just dead here. I don't know exactly what the solution was supposed to be, but there is no, this solution did not work, right? At this point, there are far too many Argents. The blast node's adding damage on top. There's gonna be one Atlas on the map. It's gonna pop out. It's gonna die immediately. Purify here as well, giving more energy. Hornets are gonna try to fight as they can, but their bonus damage to light, not to heavy. And Mixu is very, very dead in this game. I don't know what the answer is, but it was not this. Not in this game. I don't even like tags on supply buildings, honestly. I think the game right now relies far too much on tags. Bly showing up in the chat a little bit telling me that Argents are bad. Well, yeah, so I think the way this has to go, well, the way I would like to see it, at least, I think I'd like to see more damage on I think more base damage on all the units is probably the way to play. Less bonus damage on tier 1 units, on the core units in particular. I think, say, Graven's having a bunch of bonus damage versus something, or higher tier units, that's fine. But tier 1 having such strong binary interactions, I don't really like. It means that, for example, a bunch of Exos, well, Lancers are a special case because they do bonus damage to structures, but static defense, for example, against Argents evaporates, against Kree does nothing. It just survives for forever, where I would like to see that binary interaction evened out a little bit more. Root Faith, going for Hornet was a weird choice. He wanted to go snipe the prison, but didn't really happen. This, of course, is going to be Mixu's game, so we're just waiting for him to host that up, as Bly is now on match point. By the way, of course, if you do want to support me, go make an account, !Watcher of Realms. You can get the link right there in chat. that'll go on Twitch only, by the way. He didn't know there were no prisms. Mr. Lean Flakes was the thing. And there were prisms. They were just outside of his own main base. But anyways, if you want to go make an account, get up to level 7 or whatever it is, that pays me $7. So if you want to go, if you want to buy stuff, I mean, I'm not expecting you to pay for anything. You can also do that one. But for now, to get up to level 7, it does help out quite a bit. It's actually playing that game for just a little bit actually pays me more than like two Twitch subs. So yeah. Hogs with range does seem like the best bet, but on this map felt with this high ground, with this the amount of siege positions that Mixu can find, that Bly can find, I don't know what you're supposed to do against that. I'm sure there will be eventually something will get found out, but for right now, that felt very, very hard to defend. But we have Furious Resolve is going to be map number 5 of this series. Let's see if Mixu has more solutions as we get into it. So now this is map number 5. This is not a map as much that you can go and put strike nodes behind a tree wall on a low ground setup that you then push through and just make things impossibly difficult for Mixu to handle. I'm sure there are solutions, but I can't really look at what Bly did in that last game and say, wow, here's something Bly should, or here's something Mixu should have done, and suddenly the game is a lot more holdable. Now, the flip side of what we were talking about in that last game, by the way, is that simultaneously, some units are way too good at busting down static defense. And on the flip side, static defense in general is too strong. Or defensive tools in general in Stormgate, I think, are a little bit too strong right now. It really does de-incentivize multitasking. If you know that, like, you put 15 guns into your opponent's base and they're going to overcharge, or, you know, they have a Shroudstone Manifest, or they go and they have whatever it is, and you know that defense means you're just throwing these units away. You're not going to get damage done. It really means that there's no point to go get aggressive for the most part. And part of that also goes in the fact that with how strongly tagged counters and attacks and counters are, the units that are meant to harass are also the units that are not allowed to go. Oh, is he taking a collection array here? He's taking Mixu's natural. Top bar is also a problem, Floophead. I agree, but static defense, I think, is also way too strong against harassment units. Now, you put a bunch of Exos on the other side, static defense is going to fall down immediately, but Exos are part of your army. They're not really harassment units. You know, you put a bunch of Hellborn, you kill static defense very quickly. But that doesn't really help what you're doing, right? That doesn't really provide the solution that you're looking for, because Hellborn are not a harassment unit. But it is top bar, and it is static defense also being a little bit too strong. As I said, hey, Furious Resolve, I don't know that it's a map that we can see the shenanigans from Bly that we saw in that last game, but Bly's like, okay, Mixu, you took a game. You took a game. Good for you, bucko. Good for you, boy. Good for you, boyo. But the gloves are off on this one. This is God, how do you deal with this? I don't know. This is Mixu's map pick, by the way, but I have no idea, zero idea how you're supposed to handle this. Now, overcharged bobs are nice, and there's a single hedgehog off. Again, if you can keep the numbers low, if you can knock down some of these Argents, it's gonna be fine. But the healing here from the Arc ship just makes that really hard. And with the power banks, it's infinite healing. This is disgusting. This is proper disgusting here. So we're going to see sentry posts very far forward on the high ground. You really want to make sure you have one of those buzzsaw turrets, but the Vulcan's going to fall down. The Vulcan is just going to knock things out. And the other issue, by the way, with how strongly typed the damage is. So Argent 2 +4 versus heavy, a third of their damage, or a third of their damage is locked behind, is locked. That means they do really good jobs versus Lancers. Well, the thing that counters this, and by the way, hedgehogs are light, so that's fine, but in general, it means that there are these weird breakpoints where you can get up Argents, right? Argents are the Illuminite only unit. and they counter the Illuminite only unit of the Vanguard player pretty significantly because of how that works. So all that together means life is just really complicated. It makes life very difficult indeed. But now there's a repair turret on the high ground, and that's pretty nice. And ideally, though, you have to knock down these what are soon to be strike nodes, these blast nodes, I assume, that eventually you're going to get. Because once these nodes are done, once they're transformed, breaking this position feels really, really hard. So Mixu's on one base. He cannot get out of his main. And this really just does feel like the old parting cannon rush idea. So Bobs are going to get pulled once again. Only part of them are overcharged, but he just has to break this down right now. Oh. Okay, Hedgehog stays alive just barely. You gotta burst these strike nodes down right now. You cannot allow them to do the damage that they want to get done. So one strike node falls. Oh, but Hedgehog's gonna fall down as well. Strike node number 1 is dead. Bob overcharged, knocked down the second one as well here. Mixu has to win the game, has to break out of this position right now. But now there's a Sovereign's Watch as well. And again, you have to be careful. So kiting backwards once again. A lot of Argents are gonna fall down, but Sovereign's Watch is just, it's here for forever. It lasts so very, very long, and the Bob overcharge is gonna be done just about right now. It's done very soon. Sovereign's Watch, well, now it's done, and there are no strike nodes anymore. So this is the time, if you can put things into a corner, maybe, just maybe. But the headshot count is not high enough, and Bly's insane aggression takes another game. He wins the series 3-1. But of course, if you like this and you want more Stormgate action, make sure to go follow me on Twitch. Go sub to the YouTube channel. Every Sunday, we're going to have a couple best of 5s showcasing matches that I think are interesting, hopefully, and matchups that you think are interesting as well. So sub to the YouTube, follow me on Twitch, go join my Discord, and let me know what matchups you want to see. And I will see you next time.